the thing that really jumped out was to me this week was this Matrix Awakens demo video that was done with the Unreal Engine, and there was a whole lot of, the Matrix was always about what is real. That was like the kind of theme of the original trilogy. But you have to ask yourself when you watch this and what they're kind of covering here, that they could, digital avatars are so good that, you could be effectively replaced on an image and no one would be able to tell the difference. A bit like what they were doing with Keanu in that clip where he would start as his current self and then they would do a quick dissolve into an avatar of him from when he was young. And then, yeah, it just turned out to be like you can't tell the difference because it's so lifelike.
Yeah, look, this is crazy. I mean, are they using deep fake technology now in Hollywood? Didn't they invent it? It's an amazing concept when you can see what they're able to do now on the screen with images of humans, animated images that come from humans and humans that come from animated images. You wonder now what will be the future. We've spoken about this before, but what will be the future of Hollywood? Animations that are real or real footage that are all animations. I'm blown away by it.
Well, it's also like, your beloved actors being able to portray characters as if they were young, even though they might be 60 or something like that. And they can still, there's always been motion capture and all that sort of thing, but this kind of takes it to another level entirely where it's basically entirely synthetic in a way, to the point where you can't tell the difference. My main thing was that I think with like the rendering of the humans in the video was astonishing, but I think what's really amazing is the recreation of digital environments. There was shots of New York or the city or whatever it was that they were showing that were just 100% photorealistic. Like I would have thought someone had taken a camera out and just filmed it somewhere. That was really the thing that really stood out to me.
Well, that too, and I saw the preview for June a couple of weeks ago. We really want to go and see the film, and talking about CGI backgrounds and what they can do now is absolutely phenomenal. Just in a 2.5 minute trailer, I was sitting there pretty much unable to believe what I was looking at. And you think back to what they touted with Gladiator 20 years ago, and you kind of look at the effects in Gladiator now and it's maybe, but you look at them in the Matrix or in Dune and you realise we've moved to a whole new level.
Absolutely. And I've always found what the Unreal Engine can do is quite fascinating. And even just in terms of the practical application, like we've spoken before, on like The Mandalorian and things like that, where you can just basically just shoot the whole thing in a studio and then make it look like it's outside because the Unreal Engine backgrounds are so good that you can't tell the difference and you can make whatever you want.
Well, and this is the thing. I mean, it wasn't so long ago if they tried to do this for a television series, the effects weren't so good, and you could tell. But this now unlocks pretty much, and if you think we've moved to on-demand viewing anyway, it pretty much unlocks new universes of any location that can be imagined for any particular series that is created or film for that matter. So this is actually a huge step, and I think it's something like this I think will add more to our creative industries than probably 3D ever did.
And not to mention that you could see a porting of this technology into things like virtual reality environments, which would step it even further away from the entertainment industry as such and bring it more into like a real, what's real, that's what we're getting to. The whole real life interaction, like simulating real life interactions in a virtual environment. And if you've got something like this that's able to create the environment, you can't tell the difference between the two, and it's that real. That's something that is like, I find that more interesting than say a metaverse, which is such a odd old concept by this point, really. And it's kind of, and I actually thought it was actually odd that, you know, the big Zuck thought that using the term metaverse would have been hip and cool, because actually maybe it just refers, like that concept I think refers to an old idea, whereas I think what it might actually end up being is something a lot more interesting than that.
I completely agree, and I agree with the application. I think it's still a generational way for your virtual reality systems, but in film now you can see, you know, anything's possible. You know, if only Lucas could make Star Wars for the first time all over again.
Indeed. And upset all the fans all over again, I'm sure.